Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing God of War 1 on God difficulty, and this is my guide and walkthrough. So, from the looks of things, we're still under the water. So, part 27, Amphitrite's Temple and the Rings of Pandora. So this is Amphir, and I doubt I said that right, but it's supposed to be Poseidon's wife, if you're curious. But we're only going to spend a small amount of time in the temple before we move on back to Atlas's domain, and we are going to be finding ourselves having to do the Rings of Pandora. It's a beautiful area over here, but notice that you're going to be attacked by the purple minotaurs right away, and you can use the new move. Have I mentioned what this move does? It is it's a move that you can do on the ground or in the air, and the strength of the blast that you do is dictated upon how long you've held the circle button to charge it. And you can now, I don't know the name of it right now, but I do know that charging it creates a stronger blast that can potentially knock enemies off, I should say. It's hard to call what's in this game people, but these are just purple minotaurs with the warhammer. Nothing changed, and I do apologize because in the early phases of the guide, I was mentioning how the purple minotaurs are the ones that give you a problem launching them. That's definitely not true. The warrior elites, the blue ones, those are the ones that have all of the launch resistant properties to them. So these guys, they do have hyper armor at times when in periods where you cannot launch them, but they also have equally set times where you can launch them. So I apologize about that. And you could also just bounce them with square triangle and dispose of them that way. Now, once you've cleared these enemies, you have the option of going up the steps that appear and engaging in another battle up there, and you'll have some. I think they're legionnaires. They might be shielded legionnaires. We'll have to see. But we now have the blades up to level 5. And since we had to lay down 9,000 orbs for that to happen, we have very little orbs now left to spend. So my next upgrade probably will be for the Poseidon magic. I don't anticipate upgrading Medusa, that magic, maybe once at the end, but here on out I'm prioritizing the Poseidon magic, and then once we get it, the Hades magic. So once you come up here, here's the optional fight. It looks like we've got non-shielded legionnaires, these guys with the sawbone swords, and 2 chests up here. So we have, for all intents and purposes, our health and magic. Those bars are both maxed out. Oh, also, a couple of things too. When you get grabbed in this game, it doesn't damage you as long as you complete the quick time event. And also, I haven't mentioned it up until now because it's not anything that's very important, but it's one of those things that happens in the background. When you get health and magic in this game, the chests, they give you all of your bar full, so it's actually really generous, even on this hardest of difficulties. If you play Titan mode in God of War 2, they're more stingy about it, and you only get half of your bar filled out with magic or health, whatever you're getting. So they're very generous in this early God of War in giving you your full bar, just completely full up magic, regardless of how much you have in it. So nice on that score. Now we're going to take the secret passage back to the main hub area, and you will remember this area. And now there usually is a battle as you leave the area. And I think the shield enemies that I mentioned earlier, I think those are going to be the ones that we find ourselves dealing with as we leave this main area over here. And even if it's not, it's no big deal, but I seem to remember that we did have some shield enemies to deal with. The Rings of Pandora, right over here. Yeah, and there are many ways to break the shields of these enemies. You can use this attack, you can use triangle, triangle, triangle. Oh, I forgot to mention too, we with the level 5, okay, level 5 gives you 3 moves, one of which is not really a move, but it's an ability. So we've got the L1 plus circle hold in the air and on the ground, so that's 1. And then we have a really good move, which is now square, comma, square. So how that translates to your playing is that when you play, press square once and then press square again and hold it down. And then Kratos does a long series of attacks that culminates in a move that flicks enemies away from you, and potentially if you're on precipices or if you're trying to bring enemies out, it will flick them out of the arena. And it's a move that I in the past I've used on the clones to knock them out of the arena, and it actually works pretty well. The only thing is it involves a lot of lead up to it. There's a lot of combo hits to it, and by the time you actually get to the flicking action at the end, you're likely to have gotten interrupted. But if you haven't, then you could do some pretty good ringing out of enemies if all holds true. And I hope that all does hold true for you as we finish up with part 27 and then move on into part 28. Please take care.